From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, January 26th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Ultimately, what we want is that in-person, safe experience for every single child who chooses that. And
making teachers a priority. This morning, the demands from two large teacher organizations that they say will make classrooms safer for everyone.
You know, the idea that funeral service will go back to normal just isn't a realistic concept.
The coronavirus pandemic has created significant challenges for the funeral industry. Working for you, why funeral home directors say the changes will last well into the future.
They're really taking it up a notch where they want to keep their engaged employees. It's a more human factor.
Employers are joining forces to find solutions for people facing challenges that may impact what happens in the workforce. Hiring Hoosiers is looking at the coach many expect will make a difference.
And you will see the difference when you step outdoors right now. You will feel and see a variety of weather conditions. Our Todd Clausen is monitoring it all for you on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you all.
Yeah, Raphael, good morning. We have the fog out there. We have a little bit of patchy drizzle. The good news is we don't have much in the way of snow out there or sleet or freezing rain like we were talking about at this time yesterday morning. 34 degrees, that is the current temperature. The winds are to the south at 9 miles per hour. Humidity's way up there, and that's why we're dealing with some visibility. It's not terrible, though, here as you look from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis now. You can see a little bit of the lights from the skyline there, and so the visibilities aren't reduced so much at the ground level where you have the dense fog that's going to impact your driving. But if you look at some of the tower cameras that are elevated on top of buildings that I've been showing you, those are locked in with the cloud cover. 32 in Peru, you're right around the freezing mark. Everybody else above freezing. In fact, with the update that's come in at the 6 o'clock hour, temperatures have actually come up a degree in Bloomington as well as Indy, where we now sit at 34 degrees. A little bit of snow shower activity still to the north, a little bit of patchy drizzle across the rest of the area, but all the significant precipitation is out of the area. We still maintain that winter weather advisory in northern locations for an isolated slick spot, but I don't think things are going to get any worse here throughout the morning hours for your commute. That is the good news. Just some fog this morning. Otherwise, Lauren, lots of clouds, 38 degrees by the noon hour, and then temperatures cooling in the afternoon down to 37.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We have our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, in our live drive vehicle. And this is a camera that we have on the dashboard. And you can see he's traveling on the east side, eastbound I-70, heading towards Emerson Avenue, where visibility is okay. It's not very busy out there, so everything's traveling up to speed. The only crash we have is on the collector ramp as you're heading southbound on I-65 through the downtown area. We have about a 5-minute delay there on the collector ramp, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, traffic around the metro area is traveling up to speed. Now, something else to note as you're heading out the door this morning, we have nearly 4 dozen school delays or closures that are coming into our newsroom. Some of the larger districts with some of the changes today include Kokomo schools, which are closed, Lebanon, Sheridan, Western Boone, and both Lafayette and West Lafayette schools, they are on a 2-hour delay. You can find a full list of school delays and closures scrolling at the bottom of your screen. It's also on the WRTV News app and the Storm Shield app.
We will keep an eye on that, Lauren. Thank you so much. We will also learn more about the mass shooting tragedy on Adams Street when formal criminal charges are filed against the 17-year-old suspect. Police arrested the teen early Monday morning. He's accused of killing 6 people on Sunday, including his parents, siblings, a pregnant woman, and her unborn child. WRTV Investigates has learned the teen opened fire after his father reportedly warned he was going to be in trouble for leaving home without permission. The suspect's teenage brother ran and asked a neighbor for help before being rushed to the hospital with gunshot wounds.
We have a 16-year-old victim who suffered a traumatic incident, and we as a community need to wrap our arms around this young man as well. He's going to have a lot of things to worry and think about the rest of his life.
Metro Police say they are not looking for any other suspects in this case. The 17-year-old is being held on a murder and attempted murder charge. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office is expected to announce formal charges sometime this week.
Raphael, now to the latest on the pandemic. Just over 100,000 Hoosiers have received both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with why one group wants to be moved up in the line for available vaccines. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So for right now, vaccine appointments are available to first responders, people over the age of 70, and healthcare workers. And now teachers, they want to be added to that list of available vaccine appointments. The Indiana Coalition for Public Education is joining the state's largest teachers union and asking health officials to make teachers a priority when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. The federal government has recommended teachers and grocery store workers be prioritized over those between the ages of 65 and 75. We spoke with Kristen McMurdy and Carrie Mixka, both chair members of education coalitions in their respective areas. They say they want our state to listen to the federal government.
The CDC issued guidelines, treat teachers as essential workers. And our organizations believe that Indiana should follow those guidelines, because it will show that the state values what they do and values their safety.
So all of the states around Indiana are vaccinating or plan to vaccinate their teachers soon. And both of these ladies would love to be able to join other states around us and beyond who are vaccinating teachers against COVID-19. Now, if you remember, teachers were originally prioritized in Indiana's vaccination plan, but that was changed to focus on people at risk because of their age. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
The Johnson County Public Library is offering to help people schedule their coronavirus vaccines. Library officials say they learned of that need through discussions with the county health officials. For scheduling an appointment, residents just need to call one of the 4 Johnson County Library branches. Health officials say the new service will also ensure that all appointment slots are being filled. We have a number to each of the library branches in this story on the WRTV app.
It is 6:07. Let's take a look at the latest coronavirus numbers across our state, Raphael. Indiana health officials report more than 2,200 new COVID-19 cases are here in the state of Indiana. It's actually the lowest single-day report since December 27th. Health officials also report a dozen more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Since the pandemic began, nearly 9,400 Hoosiers have died with the virus, Megan.
Lauren, as the pandemic continues, funeral home business is unfortunately busier than ever. But as our Troy Washington explains, it's not business as usual because so much has changed.
At this point in the pandemic, many things are being done online instead of in person. However, many people working in the funeral home industry never thought they'd see the day that they'd go virtual. But as restrictions stay in place and COVID-19 cases just continue to rise, that's become a reality.
Family members can now plan an entire funeral online, and it's even encouraged to keep large crowds from coming into the funeral home. Since there are some tight restrictions in place in many counties, including Morgan County, where Costin Funeral Home is located.
You know, the idea that funeral service will go back to normal just isn't a realistic concept, and we're having to prepare ourselves for the future, and live streaming and doing those kind of things for funeral services, I don't think was a thought for anybody last year, and now it's not only a real thing that's happening to us now, it's something that we're going to have to move forward with.
This funeral home has even offered drive-through visitation.
Funeral service the way we knew it back in 2019, we probably won't get back to that stage.
And they continue to remain flexible when it comes to helping families on their journey towards healing after losing a loved one. Working for you in Martinsville, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Just ahead, we've got a closer look into what funeral directors say they've noticed as the pandemic presses on. Also, we'll explain just how busy they are right now and why they say this virus is real and Hoosiers should mask up. Raphael?
So, Megan, creating a road to your success. Still ahead, how companies are working together to help employees with issues impacting their job performance. But first on this Tuesday, let's check your local forecast with our very own Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning. All the significant precipitation that we dealt with yesterday, which was virtually every form of winter precipitation, is now pushed off to the north. We are seeing this storm system come to an end. Well, look at this. How about some snow in Vegas this morning? That's the next storm system that'll be heading our way. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team Forecast.
The Rebound Indiana, our commitment to bring you stories of people finding ways, of course, to get beyond this pandemic. And having someone to cheer you on every single day is never a bad thing. New this morning, why several employers here in Johnson County are coming together to create and share a success coach. At Greenwood Village South, workers care for residents at this retirement community.
Our employees work night and day to care for our residents.
At Endres Hauser, production workers make several types of instrumentation. 2 sets of workers on different paths who will now be among those sharing a success coach.
We kept hearing from our businesses that we need a way to help the workforce.
Is this about productivity? Is this about social work? Is this about success? Is it all the above?
They want to keep their engaged employees. It's a more human factor. And I think it's a differentiator for an employer if they have this additional benefit that's free of charge.
The Johnson County Community Foundation will oversee what's known as the Employer Resource Network. The network is made up of member companies which pay for the success coach to help in personal areas usually not covered by human resources, like connecting people to child care or finding solutions to a lack of transportation, issues which could impact the work life.
When they have those challenges in their home life, sometimes it bleeds into their performance at work. So we're hoping with the success coach that it will provide them that resource and help with their performance.
Get rid of the roadblocks that are in their way for, being able to focus at work or being successful at home. We want to offer our employees just the full benefits, anything that we can offer them to make life easier.
No matter where people work, the goal of this program is to put them on the road to personal and professional achievement. The foundation is looking to hire that success coach, so if you're interested in a job, reach out to the foundation. The goal is to have the person in place to help out local companies by sometime April the 1st. A grant of nearly $700,000 from the Eli Lilly Foundation is helping to fund the program for the first 4 years. We'll keep you up to date on that. But on this Tuesday, we're also keeping a close eye on the weather. We're seeing a number of school delays and cancellations, of course, Todd, because of the weather conditions north of Indianapolis.
Yeah, and that's where we still have a winter weather advisory that's in place, Raphael. We're not dealing with any real additional rain or snow out there, with the exception of maybe a few snow showers and in central Indiana as you take to the roadways. You'll have to throw the windshield wipers on occasionally for some patchy drizzle, but we're not going to get any precipitation that's going to put down a coating of snow or sleet out there like we had yesterday. So a lot of those school delays are residual from yesterday, as temperatures are actually climbing here this morning. But the overall weather pattern is going to remain pretty active, not only here in central Indiana, but really across the entire country. 34 right now in Lafayette, as well as Indy and Martinsville. 38 from Bloomington down to Bedford, where you really don't have to worry about any slick spots on the roadways as far as wintry precipitation goes. Obviously, if the roadways are wet, they could still be slick. And a little cooler to the north here, Peru and Tipton currently at 32 degrees. So that's where you could find a slick spot or two, and that's where we have some of the school delays that are in place this morning. But look at your temperatures here throughout the morning hours. By January standards, we'll tack on a couple degrees here each and every hour, so that's not all that bad. And by the time we get to 10, 11 o'clock and even into the noon hour, we're looking at temperatures that'll be right around 38 degrees, and that'll be actually your high temperature for the day today. I think a lot of our highs will be right around the noon hour to 1 o'clock, and then the temperatures will slowly start to fall once again. Here's a few flurries here to the north. Otherwise, there's some patchy drizzle. That's just about it. A little bit of patchy fog out there, as you'll see on some of our live drive and tower cameras on the roadways here across central Indiana, but no dense fog advisory or anything like that, and the heavier snow as well to our north today. Here are those high temperatures: 35 in Kokomo as well as Frankfort, 36 today in Lafayette, 38 in Indy, 41 in Martinsville as well as Shelbyville and Connorsville, and as warm as 44 today in Bedford and Seymour. So southern locations, you'll actually get pretty close to 10 degrees above normal. The problem is just not a lot in the way of sunshine for anybody here throughout the day today, as we'll be locked in with the the cloud cover. This evening, we do cool off fairly quickly with temperatures that fall back down to near freezing by 10 p.m. Tomorrow morning, it's a dry start to the day, but any leftover moisture that's out there on the roadways could refreeze tonight as temperatures get back down into the 20s. So be aware of that as you kick off your Wednesday morning. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it's mostly cloudy. It's colder once again with highs that'll only be right around 30 degrees. And tomorrow afternoon, we get into the chance of a few snow showers across the area. Nothing major. They may reduce visibility at times just a little bit as they move through, but I don't think they should be all that vigorous. And so that's not a terrible issue for us tomorrow. A bigger storm system and potentially larger issues for us as we get into Saturday and Sunday and even into the beginning, Lauren, of next week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at your drive from our live drive vehicle traveling over on the east side, eastbound I-70 between Post Road and Mount Comfort Road, where you can see everything is moving along smoothly. No delays to slow down your commute. However, take a look at the bottom of your screen and on the WRTV News app. We have at least 60 school delays and closures this morning. That includes areas like Richmond Community Schools. They're having some power issues. Their bus garage is running a little behind this morning, so they're on a delay. Again, we have at least 60 of those around the area, mostly areas to the far north. So check the WRTV mobile app before you send the kids out to the bus stop. It is 6:18. President Joe Biden is expected to announce an economic recovery plan during next month's address to a joint session of Congress, Raphael.
And as John Lawrence reports, that plan, Lauren, does not have a final price tag, but the president says it has what he calls historic investments.
The Biden administration is trying to boost a struggling U.S. economy battered by the COVID-19 pandemic.
There are tens of millions of Americans who are really on the economic precipice. There are thousands of businesses, particularly restaurants, who are on the verge of going out of business.
President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan earmarks funds for things like stimulus checks, housing assistance, and increased unemployment benefits.
I don't expect we'll know whether we have an agreement and to what extent the entire package will be able to pass or not pass until we get right down to the very end of this process.
While some Democrats favor a pricier proposal, some Republicans want to tighten the purse strings, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who says he's against another round of stimulus checks.
Any further action should be smart and targeted, not just an imprecise deluge of borrowed money that would direct huge sums toward those who don't need it.
As the talks go back and forth, the Biden administration is hoping for a bipartisan agreement.
Democrats and Republicans can engage and give their input and feedback on what they think is going to work and how to move this package forward.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
To the sports world, the Pacers entering last night's game at Bankers Life Fieldhouse looking to get rid of a bad taste that was Sunday's game against the Raptors. The blue and gold wrapping up their series against Toronto. Malcolm Brogdon so upset following Sunday's loss, he reportedly called the head coach, Nate Bjorkgren, twice to figure out what went wrong. Brogdon leading the charge against the Raptors on Monday with a career high of 36 points. The blue and gold winning over the Raptors 129-114. They'll play 2 on the road in Charlotte starting tomorrow night. The Pacers return home on Sunday to host the 76ers, Lauren.
Well, the coronavirus stripped a Colorado coach from the game that he loved. Coming up, how he incredibly fought to get back to the hardwood. Raphael.
And as we head outdoors on this Tuesday morning, good morning to Lebanon, Liston, and Logansport. All great places to call home here in central Indiana. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
On 411 to learn more.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We're keeping a close eye on traffic here on the east side, I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Everything's traveling up to speed. I'm not monitoring any crashes on your roads, but again, we have more than 60 school delays and closures for this Tuesday morning. Check the WRTV app or what's scrolling on the bottom of your screen before you send the kids out to the bus stop. Megan.
Lauren, thank you. Time now is 6:24. This is the point in the morning where we talk about what's trending here on GMI, and we got a couple of good stories to get to. to, so I'll kick things off. Scientists may have discovered the largest dinosaur. Bones unearthed in Argentina indicated the remains belong to a huge plant-eating dinosaur, you guys. Scientists say the massive species was more than 120 feet long. It's called the Titanosaur and roamed the planet about 98 million years ago. Whew, that is a big dinosaur.
Always good when it's plant-eating.
Yes.
So called a flying passenger drone or just a flying taxi. Take a look at this, guys. A Russian company has presented its newly developed model, one that may go into mass production at the end of the year and fly passengers over Moscow as early as 2023. That looks a little crazy. I don't know.
It does.
I don't know if I'd ride on that, but we'll see.
Okay.
They can test it out in Russia first.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about what you just said a few minutes ago, Lauren, so I'm going to try to read this through. So, because this is serious now. The coronavirus hit Wayne McDonald hard and really quick. One day he had flu-like symptoms. The next day, he was on a ventilator, unconscious. When he woke up from the coma, the coach of the Denver South girls basketball team, he needed to relearn how to walk and was temporarily blind. Wayne spent 63 days in the hospital. He has since returned to the hardwood, inspiring his players, telling everyone to cherish life until your last breath. All the very best to that coach. And a reminder to all of us, of course, to mask up, be socially distanced, wash your hands, but of course, the best of luck to that coach and to his team. And now let's check your forecast on this Tuesday with the one and only TK. What's going on?
Hey, Raphael, how are you down there in Johnson County? Just as foggy as we are here in Indianapolis this morning, although visibilities are starting to increase down in southern locations as the temperatures slowly start to climb. Now, they have dropped a little bit in Crawfordsville as well as Lafayette, where you see we are down now below 1 mile. So there is some patchy dense fog out there this morning, a little bit of drizzle as well. So just be aware of that as you take to the roadways. But the good news is temperatures will slowly start to climb here this morning, eliminating any ice that would be out there. Obviously, the roadways are still wet and they could be slick in spots. So just take yourself and give yourself a little bit of extra time. 38 by the noon hour as we transition into the afternoon. We'll hold pretty steady around that 38 to 40 degree number into mid-afternoon. And then we'll slowly start to see those temperatures decline heading into the evening. Unfortunately today, not much, Megan, of sunshine in the forecast.
All right, thank you, Todd. Paper towels, toilet paper, and cleaning supplies are all back on store shelves this morning, so you don't waste your money. Our John Matarese explains why you'll be paying more for those items.
Good news about many of those hard-to-find pandemic items. Many of them are now back on store shelves. Well, now the bad news. Prices are up on most of them. We spent months of the pandemic hunting down toilet paper, Lysol wipes, and bathroom cleaners after shoppers hoarded them last March. Now, almost 1 year later, you can find disinfecting wipes, and stores have lots of TP. But have you checked the prices? A new price check by U.S. PIRG finds half of pandemic-related products have increased in price more than 20%. Some have doubled in price. PIRG found big price hikes on face masks, wipes, hand sanitizer, tissues, and thermometers, but also patio heaters, computer monitors, and mesh Wi-Fi systems due to high demand while people stayed home. Now, that doesn't include price gouging like when Lysol wipes were $50 a tin last summer. So keep an eye out for higher prices. You don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
For more cost-saving tips and ideas, visit the money section of our website, WRTV.com.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. The superintendent of the Westfield Washington School says a threat led to a late Monday morning lockdown at Westfield High School. The school district says police secured the building after students sheltered in place. Westfield police say there was no shooting or any act of violence and no weapons were found.
A civil rights group says Indiana was among the states getting its lowest grade on issues that affect the LGBTQ community. The Human Rights Campaign gave Indiana positive marks for non-discrimination laws that impact colleges and universities, as well as state employees. But the state does not have those laws for things like employment, housing, adoption, and education.
78 men and women have taken the oath to protect and serve the citizens of Indianapolis. IMPD's 22nd recruit class was sworn sworn in on Monday. These recruits will now receive 26 weeks of classroom and scenario-based training, as well as 20 weeks of field training. IMPD says an emphasis will be placed on communication and de-escalation skills, along with learning to recognize mental health issues.
The new offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts will not need directions to the team's West 56th Street headquarters. Marcus Brady was promoted to the position by the Colts on Monday. Brady has been an assistant with the Colts for the last 3 years and was the team's quarterbacks coach back in 2019 and 2020. He replaces former coordinator Nick Sirianni, who took the head coaching job with the Philadelphia Eagles last week. We wish all the best to both coaches, but to the new coach of the Eagles, hey, we're going to have to beat you at some point. So, hey, go Colts.
Right?
Go Colts.
Go Colts, and go Todd Clausen, getting some of that snow up to the north in Chicago. Todd, we're kind of below that in some rain and fog this morning.
Yeah, you know, yesterday we saw every form of wintry precipitation. We had some snow, we had some sleet, we had some freezing rain, and then we had plain old rain. Most of that, as Lauren mentioned, has moved out. There's still a little bit of drizzle out there and a few flurries, but otherwise we're just dealing with some visibility issues this morning, especially here in northern locations now. Visibility has dropped in Crawfordsville as well as Frankfort down below 1 mile. So that includes travels on I-65 here from Tippecanoe County through Clinton County and even down into Boone County. Visibility is a little bit better as you work your way to the north and to the west, but just know that there are some visibility issues out there this morning. Here is the view from IMS looking back towards downtown Indianapolis. You can't see the city skyline, but at least you can see some of the lights here in the foreground and the neighborhoods in between Speedway and downtown Indianapolis. Temperatures are sitting at 34 in Indy and Lafayette. That's above freezing. That's great news as well. And 38 is the current temperature in Bloomington. If you're traveling here this morning, I really don't think you have to worry about slick road conditions as far as any snow goes. There could be an isolated slick spot in northern locations, but that's just about it, where there's a few lingering snow showers. But the rest of central Indiana, it's more of an issue just with some patchy dense fog that we just talked about and a little bit of drizzle here and there. Temperatures, they'll continue to slowly climb this morning. That's good news. We're not dropping any further below freezing or anything like that. And we should level off in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, Lauren, for your afternoon highs.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. As we're taking a look at the roads around the metro area, we're not monitoring any crashes or major slowdowns, so that is good news. This is I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue, just east of the downtown area. We do have several school delays, closures, some doing e-learning. Those are mostly in areas to the far north, so check the bottom of your screen and the WRTV News app before you send the kids out there. But hopefully your commute here right around the Indianapolis metro area is a smooth one this Tuesday morning. Well, at 6:32, we are learning more this morning about the 17-year-old suspect arrested in that mass shooting tragedy on Adams Street. Megan.
That's right, Lauren. The teen was taken into custody Monday morning. He's accused of killing 6 people, including a pregnant woman, her unborn child, and members of his own family. Information shared with WRTV Investigates reveals that the suspect opened fire because he was going to get in trouble for leaving his home without permission. The victims include his parents, siblings, and the pregnant woman, whose relationship to the family is unclear at this time. One of his teenage brothers survived after getting shot and ran to a neighbor for help. Medics drove him to the hospital in critical condition. Police say they're not looking for any other suspects at this time. Formal charges have not been filed yet. Raphael.
The people of the neighborhood, the people that knew the victims really well of this mass shooting, are reacting to this horrific crime there at 35th and Adams. Those who were killed have been identified as 42-year-old Kezzy Childs, 42-year-old Raymond Childs, 19-year-old Kiara Hawkins and her unborn child, 18-year-old Elijah Childs, and 13-year-old Rita Childs, who was a student at Indianapolis Public Schools. On Monday, some family and friends gathered at the home where the shooting took place. They gathered there to pay their respects. India Hammond and Anastasia Dittman say they knew Kezzy Childs since high school.
She was just a wonderful woman, wonderful mother, soon-to-be grandmother. She was just, even the family, everyone was just great.
I've been heartbroken since I heard it because this doesn't make sense. It's senseless. They're good people. I don't know why this took place. I don't know what led to it. I'm very sure people are going to assume whatever it is that they want to assume. But the bottom line is They didn't deserve this. They were good people. I know her heart. I know how she was raised. She was a good person.
A lot of pain among family and friends. Hammond goes on to say that she spoke to the surviving son in the child's family. She says he and others are trying to cope as best as possible. Right now, we have all the latest developments on this ongoing case involving this mass shooting there on Adams Street. All of that information posted right now on the WRTV app, as well as our website, WRTV.com. We will continue to post updates as we learn more on this case in the coming days. Lauren?
Raphael, they say they're on the front lines of the battle against the coronavirus, but they're not in line for vaccines here in the state of Indiana. Next, how this group of people want to get inoculated, but they say that they're being ignored. It's 6:35. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It's encouraging news in the battle against COVID-19. The state health department is reporting fewer new cases and the lowest number of COVID hospitalizations in 2 months. The department's latest report says an additional 2,200 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. 12 more people have also died. Indiana's dashboard also shows 2,045 Hoosiers were hospitalized with COVID-19 on Sunday. That's the lowest number since November 6th.
Lauren, a new mass vaccination clinic in Fishers is up and running. It's located in the former Marsh Supermarket near East 116th and Brick School Road. The clinic gave out more than 300 doses of the vaccine on its first day, and it has a capacity to give up to 1,600 doses per day. That isn't happening yet because supplies for the vaccine remain low. As of now, the state is giving 1,000 doses a week to the site.
It's important to be as ready as possible for vaccinating as many people as we can. The goal is to get those shots in arms as soon as they arrive. So that's what we're now well positioned to do.
I want to get through this onto the next year and be able to spend some more time with your family and friends and more activities and get back to what we all consider a normal life.
Normal life sounds good, and you can register for a vaccine by going to ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211. Remember, supplies are limited, so you are not guaranteed to get an appointment. The state health department recommends that you check the website frequently. And so far, more than 100,000 Hoosiers have gotten both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is only available to people ages 70 and older, healthcare workers, and first responders. Raphael.
They should be in line to get the vaccine, like right now. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with their story. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So teachers, they want to be added to that list of people who are available or able to get that COVID-19 vaccine. And actually, the federal government, they have recommended that teachers and grocery store workers be prioritized over people ages 65 and 75. But that's not the case here in Indiana, as we just told you. So the Indiana Coalition for Public Education, they're joining the state's largest teachers union in asking health officials to make teachers a priority when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. We spoke with Kristen McMurdy and Carrie Mixka, both chair members of education coalitions in their respective areas. They say they want our state to listen to the federal government, not just for them, but also for their students.
Ultimately, what we want is that in-person safe experience for every single child who chooses that. And we want to make sure that we are giving our families everything we possibly can to make that environment for them.
Now, all of the states around Indiana are vaccinating or plan to vaccinate their teachers soon. Both of these ladies would love to be able to join other states around us and beyond who are vaccinating teachers against COVID-19. Now, again, you'll remember teachers were prioritized to be at the top of that list here in Indiana on the vaccination plan, but then that was changed to focus on that age group, that at-risk age group. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. So businesses have had to adjust in this pandemic, and that's especially true for those who already deal with death on a daily basis. Next, the modifications that morticians are making in their industry. Todd?
And Lauren, after a sloppy day of weather yesterday with all that wintry precipitation, the good news is we're finally starting to dry out. There's still some patchy drizzle out there, but all the significant snow is to the north. The rain is off towards the east, and we'll finally work some sunshine back into this forecast. Not so much today, but in the coming days. More on that coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast right here on Good Morning Indiana.
For extremely dry, cracked lips.
Welcome back. It is 6:44 on this Tuesday. Raphael, we've watched many businesses adapt because of this coronavirus pandemic. You know, teachers moving to remote learning, many companies letting their employees work from home.
And here we are, right? We have the studio here in Johnson County.
Right.
But also funeral home directors, right? They've been forced as an industry to make some dramatic changes across the state, across the country. Our Troy Washington this morning has how they're adjusting to the pandemic.
At this point in the pandemic, many things are being done online instead of in person. However, many people working in the funeral home industry never thought they'd see the day that they go virtual. But as restrictions stay in place and COVID-19 cases just continue to rise, that's become a reality.
We've had to get creative with how we do things. You know, the whole business as usual model doesn't work anymore for funeral service.
Costin Funeral Home in Martinsville is switching how they do things from virtual funeral services to drive-through visitation. Their priority is safety and comfort for the family as they start the grieving process.
It's not a business, it's a ministry. You know, we're out to serve our community, serve the families. We're let into people's personal lives at the most trying time.
It's a fluid situation in Morgan County right now.
Right now we're in red, so we're at 25 people that can be here.
Meaning there's a higher number of cases in the county right now and restrictions are extremely tight.
And when we meet with families, we're having to tell them, we need to term this as a private service because we're limited on the amount of people that can come in.
Even though many of these chairs might be empty right now, that doesn't mean there's a shortage of business.
It has been abnormally busy. Death rate right now is very high. We've had several deaths this year that contributed to COVID-19.
And as for those who think the virus isn't real, these directors say,
we know it's not a hoax because we both have had it.
Yeah, that's true. We've had it. It's definitely not a hoax. It's a real thing, and it affects a lot of people.
These two say even once this is over, they doubt things will return to the way they used to be.
Funeral service the way we knew it back in 2019, we probably won't get back to that stage.
Working for you in Martinsville, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you so much for that. Because of COVID-19, funeral directors say that they're offering online options for people to make arrangements if they're not comfortable coming into a funeral home. Megan?
If you feel comfortable, Raphael, getting out of the house and taking in a show, there's an opportunity this weekend. You heard them right there. The Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra returns to the big stage on Saturday. You can watch the performance live at Clues Memorial Hall or virtually at a later date. For those attending in person, several COVID safety precautions will be in place.
We'll be socially distanced. The audience and the musicians will be masked, the audience and the musicians. And we'll have a touchless entry as well. So a digital program, digital tickets, just to reduce any sort of touch point.
Woodwind and brass musicians cannot play their instruments with masks on, of course, so they will have plexiglass shields up around them. Capacity will be limited to less than 10%, and the show starts at 7:30 Saturday evening. It's called Happy Birthday Mozart and is a celebration of the groundbreaking composer. For more information, go to WRTV.com and click on this story. And for the leader of not the orchestra, but the weather, maybe you're orchestrating a good forecast for us?
I'm trying. Eventually we'll get some sunshine back in the forecast. I don't think it's going to be today, Megan, but we will get there maybe tomorrow, but better chances on Thursday and Friday. Outside right now, here's a live look across the campus at DePaul as you make your way into the Greencastle area. And you can see there's a little bit of fog out there, but obviously not super dense, as you can see right down the street. And there are some minor visibility issues temperatures across parts of central Indiana, so just be aware of that this morning as you get going. 34 degrees is the current temperature. That is good news because it is above freezing. We still have a little mist and patchy drizzle out there, but with temperatures above freezing, that will not hit the ground and turn into any ice, so that is good news. It's a little closer to freezing in northern locations where we still maintain a winter weather advisory. The National Weather Service maintains the winter weather advisory, but that should expire pretty quick here this morning as well. And look at Bloomington. You're sneaking up there close to 40 degrees already. 38 in Bedford. 34 is the current temperature in Lafayette. Temperatures will slowly continue to moderate here throughout the afternoon hours, getting up. It's about 38 degrees for your high temperature in Indy with cloudy skies. And as we work our way into the evening hours, we'll start to cool off. But as far as any significant precipitation, snow showers in northern Indiana, heavier or more steady snow across parts of Michigan, back into Wisconsin and in the Chicago area. None of that is heading our way. Don't be shocked if there's a little bit of patchy drizzle off and on throughout the day today, as there's a lot of moisture just trapped in the lower levels of the atmosphere. So you may notice that throughout the day, but I don't think we get into any prolonged periods of drizzle or heavier rain. And look at these temperatures in southern locations today, climbing up into the mid-40s in Bedford, over into the Seymour area as well, compared to temperatures that will hover right around freezing in northern locations. Now tonight, everybody will see their temperatures drop down below freezing. So tomorrow morning, your Wednesday morning commute, we probably don't have much of anything in the way of precipitation out there. So the issues for slick spots tomorrow will be what's already on the ground and it just refreezing across the area. But hopefully we'll dry a lot of things up here throughout the day today, even without the sunshine. Tomorrow, not much in the way of sunshine either. We'll see a few snow showers sneak in here tomorrow. So let me quickly show you those on TrueCast. It's just some hit or miss snow showers that'll be rotating through the area. They may reduce visibility just a little bit, but I'm not really worried about anything as far as a significant accumulation across the area. Maybe a coating at best with some of those snow showers, but they're definitely very, very spotty tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, we had the sunshine back, and then another larger storm system heads our way as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That one, depending on the timing, Lauren, could be a rain-snow mixture, something we'll have to fine-tune as we get a little bit closer.
All right, Todd, we'll keep a close eye on it. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at your Tuesday morning drive. This is I-465 and East 71st Street, where you can see traffic picking up there, both northbound and southbound. No delays to slow down your commute. So let's take a look right now from our live drive vehicle, also traveling on the northeast side, but a little south of that last spot we just showed you. Our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, is traveling northbound on the interstate near Pendleton Pike, and you can see that the windshield wipers are working this morning, so we have wet roads. We also have several school delays and even some closures in areas to our far north. So keep that in mind. Check the WRTV app before you head out on the roads. Stick around. It is 6:51. We'll have your top stories just after the break.
Rivers.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:54 on your Tuesday. We're monitoring wet roads for your commute, but luckily right here around the metro area, our temperatures are warmer, so things are just rain out there. You can see we do have a stalled vehicle over in the right shoulder of I-65 and I-865. This is up in the dog leg on the northwest side, but overall traffic is picking up and traveling up to speed. No crashes right now to slow you down, Raphael.
And Lauren, as you head out the door, make sure to check out the WRTV app. We began this morning around 4:30 with just 12 school closings and delays. Now we're up to 69. Your forecast is coming up in a moment, but first, here are your top stories as you head out the door.
Raphael, we will learn more about the mass shooting tragedy on Adams Street when formal charges are filed against the 17-year-old suspect. Police arrested the teen early Monday morning. He's accused of killing 6 people on Sunday, including his parents, siblings, a pregnant woman, and her unborn child. WRTV Investigates has learned the teen opened fire after he expected to get in trouble for leaving his home without permission.
The Johnson County Public Library is helping people schedule their coronavirus vaccines. If you live in Johnson County and you need help scheduling an appointment, you can call one of the 4 Johnson County Library branches. We do have those phone numbers for the library branches in this story. Just go to the WRTV News app. Raphael.
And this morning, we're taking a live look north of Indianapolis, north on I-65. This is Chicago. A live look. You can see the impact of the snow is having there in that Midwestern city. Of course, we know that the weather is impacting a number of cities north of Indianapolis when it comes to school closing and delays. And for that, of course, our Todd Clausen has been tracking these weather conditions throughout the morning. Todd, what is the latest on this Tuesday?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty quiet around here. We have a little bit of patchy drizzle that Lauren mentioned. There's a little bit of fog out there, so you do have to use a little bit of caution as you take to the roadways. You mentioned the school delays. Most of those are in northern locations, and that's where temperatures are hovering just a little bit closer to freezing here this morning, so a few slick spots are a possibility. We get up to 38 this afternoon with that patchy drizzle and fog kind of with us throughout much of the day. Tomorrow there's a few snow showers that'll rotate through the area. It's a cooler day with a high of 33. And then as we get into Thursday and Friday, better weather. It's a brighter forecast for us, and that's just in time, and we need to take it in because another storm system heads our way as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. At this point, it looks like it arrives later in the day on Saturday, very similar to what I think we just went through yesterday with the timing dictating what kind of precipitation that we'll see across the area. So that's something to keep an eye on as we get towards the weekend. Obviously, plenty of time to fine-tune that forecast. Just be a little cautious this morning as you walk out the door with the drizzle, the fog out there, and those colder temperatures in northern locations.
Caution is key. Thank you, Todd. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with the latest news, weather, and traffic updates.
Remember, all your news can be found throughout the day, as well as school closing and delays on the WRTV mobile app. We hope you have a great Tuesday.